closer look at the race for us. David, Elon Musk been a huge factor in the contest. Tell us what the numbers show.
Yeah, the biggest factor, Jake, when you look at the money he has spent. If you look at Elon Musk's money with himself and allied groups, $22.6 million from Elon Musk and his allied groups are in this race. Take a look how it lines up against other wealthy folks who have invested in this race on both sides of the aisle. And you'll see here in this stack, Elon Musk is in a category by himself with that 22.6. You see the next Republican donors at 7.5 million.
If Elon Musk loses this, I'm going to be so happy. I'm calling it. I called it yesterday that this will be a major blow to Elon, and it will kickstart. It will rapidly accelerate the relationship deteriorating between Elon Musk and, oh my God, I just realized something. You dumb fucks. I just realized every time Asmongold goes offline, there is a infinitely larger amount of Asmongold said this, Asmongold said that commentary in my fucking chat. You fuckers watch Asmon and then come in here when he goes offline to tell me what Asmongold has done today so you can make me fucking watch his clips. Oh my God. Every time, bro, around fucking right now, I get a mysterious amount, a suspicious amount of Asmongold said this, Asmongold said that clips in the chat. This is fucking crazy. Oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Actually, what the fuck is wrong with all of you? Find God.
Schimmel, who himself has tied himself very closely to President Trump. He dressed as him for Halloween last year, even, as we've seen, just how much he has made his campaign race about the president.
Republicans are happy with the turnout in Wisconsin. We are seeing presidential level turnout in Waukesha County. There are awards in Pewaukee that are over 1,000 on pace with November 2024 numbers before 5 p.m. CST. Zanesville, Heavy Red, Ozaukee County municipalities over 1,200. We are on pace. That's what the National Enterprise Director of TP Action said. Turning Point Action from Turning Point USA. Anything on the Florida races? Yeah, they lost. The Democrats lost both of the races in Florida. Let's see how this goes.
To a Republican who confirmed my memory, who said that he would not have won likely without the early voting. So they are still holding on hope. The Trump campaign, the Republicans are holding on hope that early voting will be helpful in this race tonight. But the Elon Musk factor is such a wild card because we already know he is going to be investing so much money. He already is in House and Senate races for the midterm. So this isn't only a referendum on Donald Trump. It's a referendum on Elon Musk.
And that's Brad Schimmel. I should note as we're waiting and watching as the White House is very much keeping an eye on this. The president's been tweeting and posting about the Florida results. Obviously, they are also waiting to see what happens in Wisconsin because the Supreme Court there is always such the arbiter of these hot button issues that we've been focused so closely on. They've got a divided government there, and the Supreme Court plays a huge role in that. But I think you make a great point about Elon Musk in terms of when he was having such a huge role in the 2024 election, we had not seen him yet as special government employee Elon Musk in charge of Doge, with even concerns from some Republicans at times. So a lot of them obviously praise him publicly. This is kind of maybe the first time to get an indication of that. And the president obviously has such a strong political acumen that when it comes to reading the tea leaves, there is a question of how much he'll be looking at that.
I think without question, but for Trump, it's sort of a win-win because if they do lose tonight, he can sort of blame it on Elon Musk. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of this Trump administration, my question is, as we've been talking to advisors here all day who've been watching this very carefully, we heard from Ron Johnson, the Republican senator from Wisconsin earlier tonight, raising questions about the president's economic agenda, the tariffs that he's going to announce from here at the White House that really affects dairy farmers. It affects the manufacturing sector in Wisconsin. So that's what this race is also about. So I think
I'm a hobbit in the Shire, Wisconsin, and I have a feeling that Crawford is going to win. You should totally guest star me so I can be your Wisconsin Edinger Mentum. A hobbit in the Shire, Wisconsin.
Cutting of programs in Washington have been local issues because things are being cut in their neighborhoods, research facilities and other things. So that is also what is so fascinating by this, sort of an early look at the first quarter, if you will, of this administration.
Yeah, and could see what it means for the role he plays in the midterms, where obviously his unlimited funds could have a major factor in that. Jeff Zeleny, thank you for that. Anderson, back to you.
Yeah, Caitlin, thanks very much. Elon Musk was on Fox earlier today talking about the money he has put in to Wisconsin and why he's so involved in Wisconsin. Let's take a look at that.
The House is currently Republican by a razor-thin margin, which means that losing this judge race has a good chance of causing Republicans to lose control of the House.
This is so bad.
If you lose control of the House, there will be
him being the spokesperson for the National Republican Party is not a good idea.
That the American people voted
These guys
for.
are fucking letting this billionaire dickhead do whatever he wants. It's fine to pump and dump money into the races, but the moment that this uncharismatic charlatan is the spokesperson for the National Republican Party, I'm sorry, no matter how right-wing and stupid the average Republican voter is, they are going to look at this and go, this is a dork-ass loser with a foreign accent. I don't fuck with this. And he has gay-ass electric vehicles. I don't like that either. Because a lot of us live in liberal enclaves. And in liberal enclaves, they love Elon Musk. All the right-wingers here are groiped up fucking dorks who are constantly getting into cryptocurrency schemes. Okay? That is not representative of the broader Republican Party in places like Wisconsin, in places like Idaho. Can you imagine a fucking 65-year-old dude in Idaho being like, yeah, I love this weird dork-ass loser with a fucking stupid accent. I think it's great that he is just like trying to describe what the Republican Party's next steps should be.
Well, Democrats have billionaires too. I guess it just depends on if you get the right politics. It's okay. You know, I think the reason he's using
these. Shut the fuck up, Scott Jennings. There's never been a Democrat billionaire donor that has been this active in manipulating elections. If there was, you would have advocated to assassinate that person. Shut the fuck up. George Soros is not even remotely comparable to what Elon Musk is doing. George Soros is 858 years old, okay? He is not running around America across the country associating his face with the Democratic Party. You're out of your goddamn mind. And George Soros and the amount of money that he spends as a $7 billionaire, which is nothing in comparison to the $300 billionaire that Elon Musk is marginal in comparison to Elon Musk. Okay?
In a presidential race and then inserted themselves in the daily affairs of governing. And we're looking at the $20 million that Elon Musk has dumped into this campaign, which dwarfs spending by even other rich Republicans, let alone the $2 million or like $3 million combined from J.B. Pritzker and Soros. This is not comparing apples to oranges anyway. This is a grape and a watermelon. And so people in Wisconsin...
How much is acceptable? What's the limit?
Well, I think we should get big money out of politics. I am very clear about getting big money out of politics. I think there should be contribution limits. And I think that a person who is... It has always been clear that people that donate at that level have it.
And nothing from Madison yet. 1% of votes in, and it's all from Waukesha. It's Jover. Isn't Waukesha where Kyle Rittenhouse came to? That's where Waukesha is, right? Or is he from Waukesha? Waukesha is incredibly right wing, chat. Yeah. Or no, he went to Kenosha. Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Kenosha. But wait, Waukesha is also fucking a place where there's like constantly neo-Nazi rallies and shit. No. It's very, very white flight and very, very racist. It's patriot country.
Elon Musk, which is something Trump's fine doing.
Yeah. Let's go back to Jake.
Thanks, Anderson. We have a key race alert for you now. The polls closed in Wisconsin about 11 minutes ago, and right now we have some votes. Not a lot, but conservative Brad Schimmel is ahead with 63.9% of the vote.
It's over!
Liberal Susan Crawford has 36.1%
Wave the
of the
white
vote.
flag.
Schimmel
It's
is
over.
up by
This is just like the election night all over again.
398 votes. Obviously, this is a mere scattering, a sampling
Where are the mules?
of votes. John King, where is this? I don't know what you would call them. It's a little sprinkle, a little dusting of votes. A dusting of votes. Where are they coming from?
It's a first sample, Jake. They're coming from where Brad Schimmel calls home. They're coming from right here in the suburbs west of Milwaukee in Waukesha County. He is a Waukesha County judge. Susan Crawford, the liberal candidate, again, one more time, I'm going to explain this. Well, I'm going to explain it more than one more time. You're used to seeing red and blue at home. I know that. So this is going to be confusing for a lot of people. On paper, judicial elections in Wisconsin are nonpartisan. So we list them as purple. Again, with all the money going in here, all the politics.
Come on. Be for real, CNN. Be for fucking real, dog.
Republican statewide attorney general, but this is where he is a county judge in Waukesha County. So he is winning there by a decent margin early on, but it's a tiny percentage of the vote. But this county will be absolutely key. It always is in Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a pretty good code. So I'm going to look and show this up here. You're looking at all the blank map right now. I'm just going to go back to the presidential map to show you Wisconsin has a pretty predictable code for its very, very, very competitive election. So let's pick 2024 and let's bring up the presidential race. Again, Donald Trump, both times he was elected president, narrowly won Wisconsin by almost 30,000 votes. This time it was 22,000 before that. But where were we a minute ago? Waukesha, just west here of Milwaukee, right? So you see right here. For Democrats, you have to run it up in Milwaukee, run it up in Dane County. That's Madison. That is where Susan Crawford is a county judge in that county. Democrats have to run it up there. And then it almost always comes down to what are called the WOW counties, which is Waukesha, Ozaukee,
It's over!
and Washington. That is the suburban loop around there. And what happened in 2024 is Donald Trump won them. He also won them in 2016. Harris actually did a little better than Biden in 2024 in these counties. So here's one of the questions, right? Trump is popular there. Trump won those counties. The question is what happens in this judicial race when there are both critical state issues, abortion rights, voting rights, and so on, and of course the nationalized climate, including Elon Musk being out there. You see right there.
Someone asked. Why is this so regional? This is so regional. Why is this so pivotal? Our black people here, we have to literally build an enclave instantly. Also, picking two different shades of purple for this race is insane work. Especially when the liberal one is the darker shade of purple. What the fuck are you guys
enormous
doing?
Consequences because of the issues at stake in the state, let alone the national conversation.
And they also had like a recall election of the governor or something like that, right? Or something.
There was there were others.
Attempts.
Yeah, right. Attempts
against Scott Walker.
Yeah.
Anyway, only 1% of the vote in Wisconsin, but the votes are coming in, Anderson.
Yeah, long way to go. Watching that, Jake, thanks very much. Back here with the team. Again, I mean, this is a Supreme Court race in Wisconsin, $100 million being spent. It's insane.
It is insane, and
it's not good. It's not good for the future of American democracy.
Wow, we just could do that for
nothing to
child
see
hunger,
here.
You know, what a country this would be. But I want to pick up on a point that Scott made in the last segment about the Republicans really leaning into this being all politics is national. I actually think that is true for the low propensity voters that you have in your party. They connect the political experience right now to Donald Trump, this national figure. This is a challenge and an opportunity for Democrats right now because the national narrative of Donald Trump is what it is, right? We all know it. The reason why those low propensity Trump voters need to care about the local impact is that when Donald Trump makes implies tariffs across blanket tariffs, it impacts you locally. When he does things to Medicaid and Medicare, it impacts your local office where they won't be able to pick up the phones. All of these national politics have local consequences. And so I think it's been a challenge in different eras for both of our parties. But right now, based off of the election in November,
2% estimated
Republicans
vote,
were able to seize
and
on that.
I don't even
Democrats
think they've
have
done
really captured this
Madison
opportunity to
nor
make people feel
Milwaukee
that
yet.
national impact to their local pocketbook.
Yeah, there's no votes from Milwaukee
I'm glad you brought
nor
this up because
Madison.
Costs are going to go up for the American people, and it's a very
It's over, dude.
individualistic way
Yeah.
of going about
Let me
it.
tell you
can
something,
critique it
okay?
With tariffs, but these are just out of
At a
spite.
certain point in this night, you are going to look at this map, and the map is going to be all red. Make no mistake, that doesn't mean anything because land doesn't vote, okay? We need to make it mandatory to show like population density maps where they show like where actually the people live in comparison to other places. Other places in the state, because that is meaningless. Seeing a full red map does not mean
I
anything.
think it's why when Donald Trump goes up to Roberts and at the joint Congress and is like, "Thank you, I won't forget," we're like, "Forget what?" You know, like, wait a minute.
But he did rebuke him shortly after.
He did, but it gives pause. I mean, if somebody helps you get someplace, the fear is that when you want judges to be impartial, and I would hope that, I don't know these people, so I would assume that both will be impartial.
Are you implying that because Clarence Thomas rode on somebody's plane and on their boat?
I disagree with this. I think, look,
Yes,
actually,
I am.
I actually think whoever wins this race.
Shocking.
I mean, one is a liberal jurist, one is a more conservative jurist. I would expect that most of the time they would wind up adhering to their, legal and perhaps personal political ideology on most cases. I actually think we are a little cynical about. I'm a big fan of candidates. I like it when people run for office, no matter what. I respect it. And I just don't think people are that easily bought. Now, that's not to say people haven't been bought in the course of American history, but I guess I'm going to go glass half full on your question.
Well, there's also correlation between how long the term they're serving for is, how independent they're able to be, and if they have a shorter term. I think in a House race where you're basically constantly running for re-election, someone cuts you a massive check to your super PAC. Yeah. There's a bit, but even a 6 years in the Senate, you see senators break significantly more with presidents than you do House members. If it's a decade-long or longer judicial appointment, there's going to be a lot more independence.
I can tell you even from my own experience, like I've had people who donated heavily to my campaign who I've never met before, who don't even want to hear from me. And this is a different situation because Elon Musk has inserted himself in every aspect almost of our lives at this point. And I was trying to say to Ashley too that I brought you into this world, I can take you out. That is the mentality of an Elon Musk or Donald Trump. So sure, there's going to be influence. Most people wouldn't even know Brad Schimmel's name if it weren't for the money that Elon Musk has spent.
We expect more votes to come in from the Wisconsin Supreme Court race any moment. Will it turn out to be as close as the Democrat-endorsed candidate has predicted? Also ahead, we'll join by Democratic Senator Cory Booker, fresh from his record-breaking marathon anti-Trump speech on the Senate floor. Be right back.
Feeling anxious?
I don't know what's going on.
Don't worry.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Feeling anxious. Brad Schimmel clip.
And she said, but you come home from a day of that kind of work and you don't talk to your family for half an hour after you get home.
Decompress.
Yeah, I gotta go decompress. She said, my kids are little, they're in grade school, and they want to tell you about their day, and you can't, because you got to do that first. And she said, you don't talk to your kids, you interrogate your kids. I was like, what? But she reminded me of an example. We had picked up my older daughter, she was 7 or 8 at the time, and she had told a lie, the kind of lie an 8-year-old tells. It's nothing. But we're driving home from picking her up at her friend's house, and I adjusted the rear view mirror in the truck so I can see her in the back seat. So I got her, boom. And we're driving.
Thank you. This is exactly what I was looking for.
About this story she's telling, I start catching.
This is a population density map.
And I got her. All of a sudden, I get a Perry Mason moment. You don't all know what that means. But I get a Perry Mason moment. All of a sudden, she's confessing on the witness stand in the backseat. And I'm feeling good, like next witness. She's crying. My wife's looking at me like I'm a monster. And she reminded me of that. She said, Brad, it's not right. It's not healthy. You don't.
Susan Crawford. Oh no. Oh no. Dude, the vote dumps. The vote dumps. Chat, the vote dumps are coming in. Susan Crawford has pulled ahead of Brad Schimmel. Oh no, the mules, they're working. And we still don't even have Milwaukee. Oh no. Dane County vote dumps have shown something scary, that the Democrats indeed have the mules. The mules have arrived. The vote harvesters have arrived. Real talk, do you think she can win? Oh, yeah. I do. I do think that. I mean, I hope. The same reason why I think she has the chance to win here is exactly the same reason why I think 150,000 people, live concurrent viewers, were watching Cory Booker talk about the Manhattan Institute being a beacon of good at the end of the day. Liberals just want anything. They want literally anything, whether it's bare minimum, whether it's optics focus, doesn't matter. They are so desperate to show, to say, fuck you, Donald Trump. That's it. Also, liberals love voting in special elections. They love voting. Off-season voting is the favored liberal pastime. Not only is the off-season voting the favored liberal pastime, but also they're doing this at a time when, the Trump administration is reaching new levels of depravity. Very likely Republicans lose because of the type of people that vote in special elections are likely to be higher income, higher education voters, the exact type of demographic that Dems are actually not collapsing in. I think Elon eats shit, Lamau. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Also, Elon Musk is fucking annoying. I still believe in my heart that, the most right-wing people in Wisconsin still hear him do the Jump X logo on stage with a cheesehead and go, I'm not voting anymore. I don't give a fuck. No! No, it's over. It's over. Stop. Count the votes. Count the votes. Count the votes.
With conservative Brad Schimmel with 49.7% of the vote. The judge from the Madison, Wisconsin area is 768 votes ahead, and I suspect it's going to be going back and forth with this very narrow margin as we continue. Only 7% of the vote in, and it is neck and neck. And Senator Klobuchar, we were mentioning, you were just in Wisconsin rallying the troops, as it were, for the liberal Judge Crawford. $100 million for this one straight Supreme Court. And people wonder, where's that money going? Well, some of it's going to ads. We have a little sampling of some of the ads that are filling, clogging, whatever people want to use, whatever verb people want to use, the airwaves for our friends in Wisconsin. Here's a little sample.
President Trump's fighting back, but a liberal judge ordered deportation flights to be turned around. We don't need another liberal judge.
Elon Musk bought his way to unelected power. Now, with Brad Schimmel, he's trying to buy his way into our state Supreme Court.
Interesting stuff. Not really about either of the candidates, per se.
Right. Obviously, she had nothing to do with that ruling. Those are the kinds of things that happen in these races. I will say, when you talk to someone like Tammy Baldwin, who has consistently beaten the odds and won in Wisconsin, you see how it's done. And it's a grassroots effort. and she's ahead. I'm looking right now. She's ahead right now, and we always knew it's going to be a close race. But I think the first thing you said was most important. It's the most expensive race in the history of judicial races in the nation, and that is because it's been escalated by the likes of Elon Musk.
How does your hair fare in a blizzard?
That, Wisconsin is not for sale. It's not for sale.
Well,
that's going to resonate with the people.
Do you have elections?
Our elections are not for sale, but you know what is for sale? Pizza at your school cafeteria. Thanks to the great lobbying initiatives, I've decided that pizza has enough tomato in it, and ketchup in and of itself can be considered a vegetable. I'm A.B. Klobuchar.
Beyond this fine judge, she was a prosecutor, circuit judge. Imagine being her. She goes from being a circuit judge running, and suddenly Elon Musk is wearing a cheese head in her state and giving away $1 million checks. That's what our politics has become right now. But I think what you're seeing is that we are in this fight in a big way. And that's why you saw the race turnover in Pennsylvania, where you see these tightening numbers in deep red districts in Florida, where we're beating the odds by double points from before. People are turning out and voting.
It seems like the nationalizing of the race, though, is so much more important for Republicans than it is for Democrats to a degree, because they really do need, Schimmel is basically like getting as close to Donald Trump and Elon Musk as he possibly can, even though he doesn't have an R next to his name, because the voters that he needs to come out really need those people to mean something to them, to get them out of their homes. I think the Democrats, in a weird way, in Wisconsin might be benefiting from not having a clear leader. Like, there's really no one out there that they can tag her with. And she can run whatever race she wants to run. She can run a little bit against Elon Musk and run on some of these other issues. It's a different dynamic than you typically see. But I think here, you actually have the Republicans really needing to make this about more than just the state Supreme Court, making it about these broader dynamics.
Senator, when you were out there most recently, where do you think swing voters are right now? Are they still in the mold of being willing to give Donald Trump a chance here, or have they moved on already?
They're getting tired of this. I did a 14 county stops in my own state in rural areas, and there are farmers showing up. There was one small town hall where one of the activists had a sign that said, "This is not normal." And the farmer looked over and said, "What does that mean?" They're showing up because they're not activists, but they're starting to see these tariffs are devastating to them. They've got input costs up. They don't have stability. They've got farm funds being frozen.
Who are you supporting is a fucking Supreme Court election in Wisconsin. Are you kidding me? Who am I supporting? I'm supporting Crawford. I'm supporting literally a wet towel, a stinky wet towel. If the stinky wet towel is the anti-Elon, anti-Trump vote. Okay. Oh yeah. For the record, yeah, Dems are voting for voter ID. It's going to pass. That's why I haven't been looking at the voter ID. People are like, oh, voter ID requirement, like scroll down and check that one out. That's not indicative of this race. Democrats will absolutely vote for voter ID requirement. Democrats have certainly gotten way more right-wing. Ironically enough, a voter ID requirement might not necessarily hurt the Democrats in the long run, especially given that high propensity voters are at the heart of the Democratic Party. It might even cook the Republicans down the line. So yeah, voter suppression, because that's what voter ID is. But voter suppression, unironically, may be a benefit to the Democrats if they keep going down the path that they're going.
We're going to stand by for the next batch of votes to drop. Plus, Democratic New Jersey Senator Cory Booker just spoke. Can you believe it? There he is. Do you see him? I don't know if he's on a
early
he's
completed
on a
wars
or
in Waukesha. Crawford outperforming Harris by 2 to 5%. Turnout of 78% of 2024's total.
His 25-hour, 5-minute speech and what he thinks it accomplished. Stay with us.
Cory Booker. Yeah. What? Why are you guys doing way too dang? Wait, there was talks about requiring a passport to vote. That's hilarious. The Democrats and the Republicans together are going to cause the 10 person vote. Finally, only 10 people get to vote, and it's all Democrats. Who is more likely to have a passport? Most Americans don't. But who's more likely to have a passport, you think? Anyway, the mules are working overtime. I sent my mules out there, and as you can see, and this is before Milwaukee votes. Remember, Milwaukee County votes are not even in yet. And I told you Madison, Dane County was going to be a big one. Look at that, 78,000 to 22,000, as opposed to Waukesha's 55,000 to 36,000. Yeah, my mules alongside George Soros's mules are working hardcore. I guess some Madison dumps are. I saw the Wisconsin voter ID would be free. Is it automatic as well or nah? Some people are already hella confused by real ID. Yeah, don't tell Republicans they need to get real ID. If you have Republican parents, just tell them it's fine. What are they going to do? They don't have to travel. It's fine. They don't have to fucking travel interstate. Don't let them get a new ID. Put it off. If you see if you see it in the mail reminding them, just, maybe you didn't see it in the mail reminding them that they must get a real ID. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Who cares? Right? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Let them not get their real ID. What? I found this. I read a little ways down. Not sure how much help though with that question. Yeah. See, U.S. passport holders: 57% liberals, 48% conservatives. Also, this is liberal versus conservative, not Republican voter versus Democrat voter. I'm willing to bet that even a big chunk of those conservatives are still Democratic Party voters. You have to be rich. You have to be rich to have a passport. You have to already be kind of rich to be able to need a passport to begin with. There's no shot. No, you don't, lol. I think you discount how poor the average person is in comparison to you. You're like, I have a passport. I'm not rich. Come on, dude. First of all, a passport in and of itself is already an unreasonable expense. Why do you need a passport? To travel outside of the fucking country. This is a ginormous country. Most Americans don't travel outside of the country. Why would they? America as a continent is large enough as it is. So no, most people never get a passport. What's the percentage of the population that has a passport to begin with? I want to know. Does it say here? Liberals in the survey are more likely to have college degrees, slightly more likely to have household incomes above 100,000. But regardless of the underlying reasons, data speaks to the fundamental differences. Oh, shit. Is the Milwaukee dump coming in? Oh! Oh! Oh, big booms coming in from Milwaukee County. 118,000 votes for Susan Crawford. Susan Crawford versus Brad Schimel with 46,000. 72% in the first. Dude, I think they might call this soon. Around 40% of Americans have passports. Elon is coping with voter ID. Breaking, Wisconsin question 1, which adds a voter ID requirement to the state's constitution, is passed. Yeah, he's like, oh, they voted for voter ID. That means my guy will win. My guy's gonna win. Even Waukesha County has shifted +3 in the Dem direction in these early counts. All right, let's hear what Corey,
some very moving speeches, and then some of my colleagues came on the floor and just told them very emotional stories too that really sourced me through the whole challenge.
It was obviously a very emotional experience. Just one more question on the physicality of it, which is, you were a football star at Stanford University. You're 56 years old now, but you were a football star 20-something years ago. Was this more difficult than being a football star and taking some of those hits on the gridiron?
It was just different, my friend. It was just different. This was real, physical challenge. I had to think of a lot of strategic things to do in order to prepare for it. And then, and you're right, I'm a lot older than that football player, a lot less hair too. So it was a challenge, it was a trial, but I really felt lifted by the energy as Congress people started coming over, a lot of my CBC, Congressional Black Caucus friends. It just turned out to be, when the gallery started filling up, it was a lot of folks' energy that really carried me to try to do as I sort of framed the whole speech with John Lewis's demand to all of us. His spirit just talked a lot about doing good trouble and necessary trouble.
That was a very moving part of your speech. We should note, the previous record was set rather ignominiously by then Democrat, eventually he became a Republican, Senator Strom Thurmond, who was filibustering the Civil Rights Act in 1957. You weren't filibustering anything. You were giving this speech, so not to block legislation, but I want to know, what do you say to somebody who says, well, why were you doing this? Other people have done it to block legislation. Ted Cruz did it to try to stop Obamacare. I think he was doing it in 2013, maybe. Your friend, Senator Chris Murphy, who was there with you the whole time, did it to try to get some anti-gun legislation votes. Tell us the purpose of this.
I think we're really at a point in America where things are happening that don't sit right with people of both sides of the aisle. I did everything I could to read from Republican governors, from the Cato Institute, from the Manhattan Institute, all talking about just the insanity of trying to pass a budget right now that's going to blow the biggest single president record for creating more debt, more deficit, giving tax cuts that are disproportionately going to go to the wealthiest Americans who don't need that tax cut, and then all the while gutting things like Medicaid. It just makes no sense. There's so many things going on by this president who is trashing our allies, bullying Canada, who is in many ways just violating judges' orders, trampling on our Article 1 powers. So I just wanted to give a speech that said that this is not normal, and we can't normalize it. And all of us have a responsibility to do something different, to take some risks, to be there for each other, and to try to ignite a larger movement in our country, the kind of movement that stopped Donald Trump from taking away the Affordable Care Act. And perhaps together, collectively, if we all speak out, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, to the absurdity of some of this, perhaps we can make changes and change some policies and get some other Republicans to change their votes to stop bad things from happening.
Just to play a little bit more of your speech, you did acknowledge Senator Strom Thurmond and his record-breaking until
Dave
today,
Wasserman called it
24
already? Dave Wasserman called it already? Told you. Told you. I told you they'd call it quick. I've seen enough. Susan Crawford defeats Brad Schimmel in the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, preserving liberals' 4-3 majority. Oh, what a glorious moment. Oh my God. Let me tell you something, okay? This is, I mean, does this offer a stay of execution for the state of Wisconsin to a certain degree? Surely. Marginal victories like this are ultimately very consequential for the lives of average people. But I will say this. If you are not celebrating this because you think, fuck the Democrats, who cares? They're all, genocidal, Zionists or whatever. That's fine. But you should absolutely celebrate this because this is a direct shot across the bow on Elon Musk. This is a turning point for the relationship with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Donald Trump will come out and say he is fully confident in Elon Musk in the upcoming days, if not immediately after this election. Okay? But make no mistake. Understand that will be fucking bullshit. Donald Trump will probably say something along the lines of like, oh, I'm more confident than ever in Elon. He's great. He's great. He's so good. He's so beautiful. Believe me. Buy more Tesla. Everything computer. Buy more Tesla. Okay? But deep down inside, he fucking hates losers. He hates losers. And Elon Musk is a proven loser on this day. A loser that spent a metric ton, a shit ton of money. Stop yapping with Cory Booker. Please. Please get to the goddamn commentary. Elon Musk being associated with your political candidate is a poison pill. Okay? Elon Musk being associated with your candidate or with your political movement is devastating for the cause. Donald Trump is learning that the fucking hard way, okay? So for that reason, I will be celebrating this. Why are we mad at Cory Booker? I'm not mad at Cory Booker. I just don't like his style. I don't think he's genuine. And I think that like the mealy-mouthed, squishy lib, like emotional rhetoric coming out of him is not only being presented as like amazing and genuine and honest or whatever the fuck right now. And a lot of you libs are going to fucking love this shit. But in a couple months, just like with Kamala Harris, you're going to turn around and say, okay, Hasan, you were right. This kind of stuff doesn't read positively. And I know you're going to think that it reads positively because the television man is going to tell you that it reads positively. And it's okay. It's all right. Go on. Have fun with it. Have fun for the moment. Talk about how great it is. Talk about how awesome he is. It's all good. It's better than nothing. So it is the best we got for the time being. Okay? I'm telling you right now, though, his rhetoric, his sentiment, it doesn't match the energy of the fucking the crowds. Make no mistake. People are desperate for any kind of resistance whatsoever, so they'll tack on to this. They'll associate themselves with Cory Booker. But Cory Booker inherently is not a winner, okay? He does not have the charisma, and he certainly does not have any sort of ideological conviction that will make up for his lack of charisma. Because Bernie Sanders is not a very charismatic individual. But Bernie Sanders has ideological conviction. Bernie Sanders is an annoying, stubborn brawler in the eyes of the base. So for the time being, Cory Booker will have his moment in the spotlight. He wants to run for office. But I'm telling you right now, it's not better than nothing, though. I disagree. This is him using the filibuster uselessly and basically spitting in the face of everyone. No, I don't care about that. No, that I don't have that level of no. That's not the resentment that I have. The resentment that I have is that Cory Booker is a representation of the establishment Democrats. Okay, he is the party man. He represents the party line. And what he's doing here is an optical victory, but not a real victory. An optical victory that is not associated with anything but maybe elevating Cory Booker's career. If this lights a fire under the ass of all congressional Democrats, then fantastic. That's good. If they start like obstructing everything, no matter how silly it might seem, whether it's an appointment or whether it's like judge appointments, whether it's an appointment for a cabinet seat, if they do that, fantastic. Okay. And some are doing that. Adam Schiff came out and said he was going to do just that. Having said that, Cory Booker's style, Cory Booker's demeanor, Cory Booker's rhetoric overall is still from the perspective of like a national, from the perspective of the National Democratic Party, like what the people want. They want liberal Trump. Ironically enough, Brace is not wrong. They want liberal Hitler, okay? That's what they want. The Democrats want a fucking fighter, I think. And Cory Booker is far too mealy-mouthed, far too, oh my God, I'm in my fifis to be that guy. This guy said, watch Nuke's Taku, a fucking lolly-enjoying anime avatar guy who loves Israel almost as much as he loves lolly. No thanks. You should be fucking embarrassed to say such things. You should be embarrassed to openly say you love that guy. God damn it, dude. The internet anonymity has ruined discourse to a degree where people are not even fucking embarrassed. Hassan Piker is 400% dead. He's done. He's so done. You're a terrorist, Lamau. Who cares? Suck me from the back, okay? You just admitted you like a lolly consumer. I'll say it to you face, pussy. Brother, you don't even have your fucking name associated with your account, nor a fucking profile picture. You are the lowest form of coward. The fuck? And to be fair to you, I would be really embarrassed to associate my name and face if I was going around being like, you should watch this fucking lolly enjoying Israel dick rider, please. Big tough guy. Big tough guy. How are you so tuned in? You know Nuke's Taku's politics? You only got where you are because of your Uncle Lamau? Yeah, well, guess what, dude? I'm still at the place that I'm at. And you, on the other hand, are still an anonymous account defending a lolly enjoyer who loves Israel. Oof, pick a struggle, you know what I mean? Pick a fucking struggle. Settle down, terrorist. Oh, he's being mean. My name is Alex. In the words of Khabib Nurmagomedov, send me your location. Here, you need to get shaken like a baby. I'm shaking it. I'm shaking the baby. Get over here. Come here. I think this is hilarious. Yeah, you're not fucking seething at all. I promise. These are the words of a man who is not seething. These are the words of a man who's like, I think this is funny. I've never seen you before and I triggered you this badly, Lamau. Yeah, I'm super triggered. You got me. Notice how between you and I'm not anonymous, and you could, if you weren't so brain broken, you could probably understand from my facial expression and my demeanor that I am not, what you are assuming I am. Genuinely frustrated and angry. No, chatter, there's an entire fucking Madison Square Garden full of people in here, and they're all laughing at you. Nux, the guy that got told to get the fuck away from me from Jaden Animations, I didn't know that. He's like, please go watch my favorite lolly enjoyer, please. Please, he's funny. You are terrorist. Wait. Hasan Piker is 300% fucked now. Asmongold and Nux are pedophiles. Wait, why did he own himself? Hasan, watch out. He's going to increase the percentage to 957% canceled. Yeah. By the way, for the chatters that don't know, this is the account this guy wanted me to watch. Oh my God. He's like, you have to watch this guy. Yeah, the pedophile angle is what I expected type beat. He's been making a video about you every day. Don't worry, Hasan will go down due to his relations with Mitchell. Mitchell? Who the fuck is Mitchell? Anyway, let's get back to this.
In there. So that's your building block if you are the Democrat or the liberal candidate, as Susan Crawford is.
I have no idea
and
who
again,
the fuck
61%
Mitchell
of the
is.
vote, so more to come there. Then the key test is the suburbs. I'll move the map up a little bit around.
Mitchell,
and this is where it gets
Mitchell
interesting.
McConnell.
This is where Brad Schimmel is from. He's the conservative candidate. He is winning in his home county. He's the Waukesha County judge here. He's winning, but he is winning right now. At the moment, he is winning by a smaller margin than Trump beat Harris here. Harris actually overperformed Biden in the Milwaukee suburbs. She still lost them, but she overperformed
What the
Biden.
fuck is
And
this?
Schimmel at the moment is winning. We got a ways to go. That looks like a big, healthy margin. And it is, but it's a smaller margin than Trump beat Harris right there. And this
What
one,
the
when we come
fuck
up
is
here,
this?
in Ozaukee County, Schimmel has just pulled ahead. She was ahead a moment ago. This was a 10-point win. This was a 10-point win in this county for Trump just 5 months ago. And so you see right now
That's
it's
fake,
essentially
right?
even in that county. So this is one of the questions, right? There's no question Elon Musk's role here was huge. Democrats have made him the new villain. They've made him their turnout monster. A lot of people who came there say the last event when Musk
Wait,
came out
who's
with the cheese head
Mitchell?
might have backfired. Even Republicans say that. Why he made it too personal out there. But remember, this is an evenly divided
What did
Supreme
he
Court.
mean?
A Democrat just left the court. A liberal just left the court. I shouldn't call her a Democrat. But so the winner here, well, the ideological balance of the court will go to the winner. Will it go to the conservative? Will it go to the liberal? Wisconsin has an abortion law that could be before the court. Voting rights, drawing legislative districts, right? The suburbs. The abortion issue in the suburbs. So yes, we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Yes, we're going to talk about money.
Man, it's good. It's good to feel happy for a second, you know? I mean, this is like a brief moment of happiness, but goddamn.
Suburbs when we get to the end of the night, and we're looking
I'm
at
in a
that maybe
spectacular mood all of a sudden. Not even a joke. Like, just imagining how this will unfold for Elon Musk, the amount of money he spent on this race, the amount of time he spent on this race. Oh my God, I done did it again. Bro, I don't even need to leave my fucking house. Based on interviews with Wisconsin voters we will publish soon, it was abundantly clear that Elon Musk's presence and money upset voters from both sides of the aisle. They almost uniformly said Musk tried to buy the election. Ooh, this is why you pay me the big bucks. And by that, I mean subscribe to me for $6 a month. Voluntarily. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Or for free with a Twitch Prime. Fucking locked in. From this goddamn $2.7 million house in West Hollywood. I somehow can understand the fucking consciousness of the average American in fucking Milwaukee, even though I've never stepped foot in that goddamn state. People don't like this dork-ass loser. He's way too foreign. He's way too neurodivergent for the average person to fucking take note of and go, he's charismatic. He's my charismatic leader. Do not listen to the shit online. They fucking hate him. He reads like a dork-ass loser. He's too foreign. He's too foreign. Americans go, oh, what the fuck is this? I don't care about this guy. Why is this fucking rich asshole with a weird, possibly German accent talking to me wearing a fucking cheese head? I told you. I fucking told you. I told you his presence would be a burden on this election. I fucking told you. Goddamn. I do gotta go to Wisconsin eventually, though, to see my boys. Argos! Thank you for the 50 big ones. God damn. USA! 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 He's fucking dumbass. Yeah. He is disgusting. Okay? He is a disgusting little freak. He is a disgusting little freak. He's a monstrous little cretin. I'm telling you fucking right now. I'm telling you right now. I promise you. Logs. Come to my mansion in Wisconsin. Okay, T-Pain. Part of me wants not to urge to Muhammad. Thank you for the 100 big ones. God damn. Listen. Part of me doesn't want Elon Musk to go away because his presence undermines the Republican Party agenda. His presence and overall disgusting vibes will truly destroy the party. Okay? But also at the same time, I can't stand seeing his bitch ass, which is why I selfishly and in a short-sighted, nearsighted manner want him to go away really bad because he fucks the vibes up really bad. Zylax, thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Trinrek, thank you for the 10 community gifted subs. Elon Musk's Wisconsin stats as of 10 days ago. And so Mr. Musk is largely sticking with the formula that worked last time. Door knockers lost lots of money, and even a similar petition meant to identify and turn out conservative voters. Mr. Musk Super PAC America has laid out $6.6 million so far. The group has assembled a canvassing operation of over 500 employees who knocked on doors. With about 40 paid active canvassers in the Green Bay area, roughly 70 in the Madison area, and more in Milwaukee and rural parts of the state, according to the 3 people briefed on the operation. The Super PAC told its canvassing firms to cut their worst performers. The group declined to comment on its internal workings. Canvassers, most of them pay $25 an hour or $150 a door, have flooded Wisconsin neighborhoods wearing white America lanyards with a badge that shows a photo of Mr. Trump raising a fist after the assassination attempt in Butler, PA last summer. The group has knocked over 1 million doors during this blitz. Some of the people said this week the Super PAC informed several of his door knocking firms that it was cutting back on his overall targets and what Musk's group described them as a reallocation of resources. He's a fucking loser, bro. He's a loser. He's a loser. Everybody hates him. That's it. Wisconsin Supreme Court shows limits of Musk's money. It causes Dem fundraising and engagement to go up. Dems can tie GOP candidates to him. In hindsight, Dems should have made him more of a foil in 2024. Wonder if GOP politicals will seek to limit his influence in future elections. The answer is fuck yes. Okay? And it won't be the GOP politicals that limit his influence. It is going to be Donald Trump that goes, you fucked this up for me. Elon, you fucked this up for me, Elon. Donald Trump hates losers. What did I tell you? Just like I fucking called it, that Elon Musk's presence was going to be a burden on this race. Whoo, I can't wait to see the copium. Oh my God, except tomorrow's tariff day. Save America Day starts tomorrow, so we won't be able to celebrate for too long. Or I guess if you're a JD Pons style guy, you will probably look to the red markets, the bloody, what is tomorrow? Fucking Wednesday, the bloody Wednesday of the markets, and maybe appreciate the demise of America. But having said that, oh my God. Oh my God. Look at the swing graph. Yeah, the officially nonpartisan, I love that they also maintain this, officially nonpartisan contest between Republican-backed Brad Schimmel and Democrat supporter Susan Crawford will determine the balance of power on a court split between 3 conservative and 3 liberal justices. The winner could become the deciding vote on cases dealing with abortion, unions, and voting. What happened? He's announcing the tariffs after the markets close. Elon is the Nukes Taku of politics. I thought Nukes Taku was the Nukes Taku of politics. Election fraud should be investigated. Hell yeah, baby. Oh, they're back to their ways, dude. Oh, that's so awesome. I forgot what this feeling felt like. If only the Democrats weren't such fucking losers so I could feel this entertained by Republicans collapsing under their own fucking weight and nothing else, as a matter of fact. God damn! The mules, George Soros, and HasanAbi. HasanAbi. He took away Elon's attention in a moment where Wisconsin needed him the most. Stop the steal. Scott Presler, oh, my goat. Wisconsin, if your polling location was impacted by a ballot shortage, submit a report right now. Oh, my God. This is what they're going with. This is what they're going with. You joke, but one day will be in his mouth, I bet. What? No, my name will never be in Trump's mouth, I hope. This is your most liberal moment in a while. Dude, I just love the idea of Donald Trump fucking parting ways with Elon Musk. I'm sorry. Let me have a moment of appreciation, okay? This douchebag spent millions of fucking dollars. It's nothing to him, by the way. It's literally nothing to him. But he spent millions of dollars, went into these fucking big rooms, thought that he had an opportunity to fucking swing this election. And this is a really important moment for him because it's a test of his approval ratings. His approval ratings are in the shitter, by the way. Everybody fucking hates him. His stocks are tanking. None of these goddamn Republicans want to buy Teslas. In Europe, it's significantly worse. They're just firebombing Tesla stations. Like, everybody hates him. It's great. Richest man on the fucking planet. Biggest loser on the fucking planet. You know he's going to go on a Twitter storm. I'm going to say, yo, at Elon Musk, maybe you shouldn't have showed up. Wisconsin, man. I think people hate you, dog. You should tweet something to bait him for another ratio. I mean, I don't think this will get a ratio. Tesla delivery numbers are also due tomorrow. Asmongold's video tomorrow. It's not based. He went nonverbal after it was called. He went nonverbal. He went nonverbal when discussing Elon Musk's Twitter habits. Oh, damn. I'm telling you, I fucking told you. Aside from obviously the high propensity voters showing up big time, especially against a right-wing administration, which increases the likelihood that people will go out and vote against the administration because the winners stay home. They're like, why the fuck would we vote? I already did my job. Trump is winning. Trump is running the country. He's doing great. I think Elon was a key factor that made this margin the size that it actually is. Liberation Day came early, and so did I. Trump is putting tariffs on Wisconsin tomorrow. Please send Elon Musk to all the close races. Yeah. Yep, it's true. Just send his ass out there, dude. Send him across town. Can you shed any light on why the Dems are able to mobilize around a candidate, Susan Crawford, in this example, but are unable to put forward strong, accurate messaging regarding voter ID amendments? Because with Susan Crawford, there is actually a very valid lesser evil harm reduction voting outcome because she's a Supreme Court judge in a fucking 3-3 deadlock. So that's the reason why. That's one instance where you can unironically make the only argument that the Democrats make, which is, you know, vote for this person. Otherwise, you're fucked. Whereas in other circumstances, you need more. You need more to drive turnout, especially because your opposition is driving turnout in you know, crazy numbers. Trump said you only have to vote once, and this dipshit was saying how important this was. Like, nah, yeah. Votes are still coming in, big bro. I really don't want you to have to delete that tweet, says Gay Lennon. Gay Lennon 1917. No, dog, they called it already. Votes are called off of projections, and I am not Dave Wasserman, even though he is infinitely better at this than myself. But even I told you early in the night that as soon as these two counties drop, we will know who wins this fucking we will know who wins this race. And those counties dropped, spectacular numbers. Like, not only was Susan Crawford already outperforming Kamala's performance in red counties, but once the fucking Dane County and Milwaukee votes came in, it was over. This is where large numbers of the population reside. The lib got it right. Brutal result here for Elon Musk, who dropped $26 million in his race and still got his ass handed to him. Money can't cure being politically toxic asshole. Yeah. CNN has also called it. They're projecting it. Let's hear what they have to say.
Supreme Court race, keeping control of the court in the hands of liberal judges and defeating conservative judge Brad Schimmel, who had the backing of President Trump, Elon Musk, and Republicans. Crawford's win gives her supporters in the Democratic Party a significant victory after they worked to turn this contest into a referendum on both President Trump and Elon Musk, who had deep involvement in this race. Democrats obviously trying to harness voter anger about Musk's role in slashing the federal government and about the Trump administration.
What a spectacularly stupid thing to do. Literally the least popular political figure in the cabinet, less popular than fucking J.D. Vance, going there and actively involving himself in this race because he's such a narcissistic moron that thinks, because he's surrounded by fucking sycophants, that everybody loves him. And he just fucking ran over there and be like, USA, this is the most important election. George Soros. He put a fucking rally together and got booed in his own political rally. You're a cook, dog. You're fucking cooked. That should have shown you that you should have gotten the fuck out of Wisconsin ASAP.
Candidate will defeat the conservative candidate. This is now ensuring that the liberal majority on the state Supreme Court will stay in control. It comes at a time when there's a lot of hot button issues that could come before the court, things like abortion rights and congressional maps as well. But it also comes as Crawford and her Democratic allies have really sought to turn this campaign into a referendum of Elon Musk. I can tell you, crisscrossing the state over the past week, that is something that we repeatedly heard from Crawford at each of her campaign events, saying that Musk's involvement in the race should be concerning for voters. And it seems that at least in these results that are starting to come in tonight, that some voters have bought in.
Dude, Elon Musk, if he was like a real American, by the way, if he looked like, who's like a real fucking rugged American looking guy, even if he looked like Tom Cotton, who also looks like a loser, okay, and wore like cowboy boots and a fucking belt buckle and didn't have like a weird accent, I swear to God, it would be very different. But he looks the way he looks. He operates the way he operates. He sounds the way he sounds. Ain't nobody fucking with him. That's just not happening.
It is indeed, and we've also been talking about the huge.
Sometimes politics is that stupid. Okay, it's that stupid sometimes, where they're like, you know, there's a lot of
we also have the results.
There's a lot of wealth worship. There's a lot of like idol worship for Americans, especially for wealthy people and powerful people. But Elon is too repulsive to be able to take advantage of that.
We'll put them up when we have them.
Yeah. Oh, look, this is an important win for Democrats in the state of Wisconsin. It is not an indicator of where the overall country is in terms of political alignment, but it is a testament that when you continue to organize, you have a clear message, you can win campaigns. And I think in a moment like that, right now, Democrats need to remember that and continue to cultivate what their message is ahead of the New Jersey and Virginia elections this year.
Scott, chime in. Say something, Scott. Come on, Scott. Say something, you bitch.
I think that, you know,
come
Florida,
on.
Yes, no one expected Democrats
Talk about how
to win.
anti-Semitism won tonight or some shit. Come on.
In Florida.
Talk about how this was the Hamas election. Scott.
Area that we will flip back in 2028. That's not what we're saying. But it is giving an opportunity for Democrats to say, well, who are these voters? Are they low or high propensity voters that showed up and that's why it was closer? It gives you some data to examine beyond just
right.
The
In previous races in Florida, the Republican
it was
won
a blowout,
by
30 some points, right? So you want to find who are those voters in the difference in that margin between, and maybe you get draw some conclusions and maybe you don't, but data beyond just a presidential outcome, I think is important.
Yeah, do I think it would have gone different if Elon Musk didn't involve himself in this election? No, I don't. I don't think it would have gone different. No, for the reasons that I mentioned already. Oh, Scott's talking.
Any of these races in Florida or Wisconsin, or was it largely they just kept doing what they've been doing, which is showing up for Donald Trump and nothing else? That's one thing to be studied. I do think the Republican takeaways tonight are going to be this. In Florida, Democrats burned about $20 million on 2 congressional campaigns where both Republicans look like they're going to get around 57% of the vote. Yes,
Dog, that's less than what they burned in Wisconsin.
But certainly commanding victories. Democrats were down in the low 40s, Republicans again at 57%. Wisconsin, the voter ID initiative that Donald Trump was heavily involved in and heavily supported, that's a big issue for Republicans and conservatives. Last I saw, it was passing at about a rate of 60-40. So they're going to like that. I agree with you that Democrats have a nice win on the Supreme Court here. Called it early in the night. But for Republicans tonight, I do think a lot of people were sort of bracing for impact that, what was going to happen tonight. And what do we find out? Republicans are okay in their Florida districts, and voter ID is still a popular thing. There's a bunch of people that voted for a liberal Supreme Court justice and turned around and voted voter ID tonight in Wisconsin, which shows you the popularity of that issue, which has been a Republican issue.
I think there's a significant disconnect between
Why didn't it translate to the Republican
who feel like
judge
we're only
then?
4 months into the Trump administration. There may have been some hiccups, but they're largely willing to give him some bandwidth to get his agenda into place. Even tomorrow when his Liberation Day is coming and these massive tariffs are going to go into effect, they're willing to give him a glide path to see if his plans actually work. I think Democrats to some degree may have overhyped that.
Florida is irrelevant ultimately because it's a fucking massive Trump state. Wisconsin, on the other hand, was a close one. Trump won Wisconsin by barely, like less than 1%, okay? Trump won Wisconsin in 2024 by less than 1%. The reality of the matter is the factors involved in why this blowout is taking place in Wisconsin for the liberals is because of the factors that I laid out earlier, high propensity voters and their likelihood to go out and vote in special elections. Liberals love higher, more educated, wealthier, white liberals in general fucking love voting. They love voting. They come every time they vote. That's a big part of it. You also miss someone doing the Nazi salute? Wait, what? I missed someone doing the Nazi salute in this video. Where is it? So I do think that with or without Elon, With or without Elon, the race probably would have gone to the Democrats. Having said that, with or without Elon, the race probably would have gone to the Democrats, but the margins look the way they are because of Elon. 1040. Where is it?
So, I mean, yeah.
Oh, this guy. Oh my God. It's because the banner was hiding it. Did you guys see it? This guy was Sig Heiling and going, "My heart goes out to you." Holy fuck. How did you clock that? That's crazy. Yeah. Gross. Fucking gross. Yeah, I didn't have time to listen to the Vox article or read the Vox article or listen to the Vox podcast that I was on. We'll probably do that tomorrow. I just wanted to...
A recall election, you brought me up to speed. I said this was the quickest a race has ever been called in Wisconsin because it usually lasts days. And you noted that no, that was not the case. Your recall failed pretty quickly.
Yeah, less than an hour. Yep.
So give us your analysis of what went right for Judge Crawford and what went wrong for Judge Schimmel.
Yeah, I think two things, and I've said this for months. I thought, one, the turnout model was always going to be at the disadvantage of Schimmel over Crawford because there's about 200,000 voters that voted for Donald Trump last November who just historically don't vote in spring elections. And so part of the reason why we wanted the president and others to be involved was to try and connect the dots, to make that connection. And some of that happened, but clearly not enough if you look at these results. The other thing was money. Obviously, a lot of attention of late to Musk, but if you look at the financial advantage, Crawford's campaign spent twice as much as I did in my first election for governor. So that shows you how much the stakes have been elevated, considerably more than the Schimmel campaign. And about
except
paper,
it was dominated by right-wing funding. What are you talking about?
So there was a
Elon spent more money than every other fucking group combined on this race.
Mandela Barnes in the other panel in New York saying that he thought that this was in a lot of ways, Mandela Barnes, for people who don't know, former lieutenant governor of Wisconsin, Democrat, saying that in a lot of ways he thought this was a referendum on the involvement of Elon Musk. And we saw Judge Crawford basically making Elon Musk her opponent, not Judge Schimmel, saying like, I didn't know I was going to be, I'm just a humble caveman. I didn't know I was going to be running against, a little nod to a Saturday Night Live skit. That's not a slam on the judge. I didn't know I was going to be running against the richest man in the world. And as has been pointed out, this is a state where your own citizens own the football team. So do you think that was compelling?
I think it's an interesting tactic. It's a little Saul Alinsky-ish in the sense that you've got George Soros and J.D. Pritzker and Reid Hoffman and all these billionaires who've spent far more than Musk did in this, and now pointing and say, well, wait a minute.
I don't think they spent on this. They didn't.
Well, collectively, if you look at all the money from outside that was given to her, again, 77% of it came from out of state, only 15% came from Schimmel, and collectively, a number of the analysis showed.
I'm just saying, like in terms of the money from
individually,
J.B. Pritzker.
But if you look at the whole outside money that came from out of the state, it's clearly.
But you don't think it was a referendum on Musk at all, though?
Oh, I think it had a part of it. I think there are a lot of different issues. I think, again, in Wisconsin, you see that flip back and forth.
Elon single-handedly made up, like, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but he made up like a significant percentage of the donations for the race. Like, personally. Okay? USA. Oh my God, I hope he keeps trying to fucking manipulate elections, actually. I really do. I fucking really do. Mearsheimer fan, Crawford got 23 million while Schimmel got 11 million, but sure, keep pretending Democrats aren't the party of lobbyists and big donors. First of all, I fucking never said that Democrats are not the party of lobbyists and big donors. But it's so funny that Mearsheimer fan responds to me making fun of Elon Musk, who was the biggest outside billionaire donor. He's the biggest donor. This is the first thing he retweeted since his last post. In case you missed it, Vietnam has cut all tariffs on American goods in response to Trump's reciprocal tariffs. Unite, libs unite. Yeah. Yeah. Billionaire donations to the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. I mean, this is not the entire picture. It's just billionaires that have donated to the race, but come on. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Maybe he's not tweeting because he's trying to be, he's experimenting with biblical doses of ketamine. Let me Google this. Can you overdose on ketamine? On ketamine. It's an injectable medication is FDA approved, uses surgical anesthetic. Ketamine is a controlled substance. Overdose on ketamine is more likely when it's used at home. Okay, this doesn't say. It fucks with your kidneys. Permission to live out one night, sir. Permission granted, soldier.
In 2026.
I want to go back to Elon Musk for a second because, I mean, it is true that he spent $20 million on affiliated groups that were involved in this race. Is it a risk for?
Can you tell me why Elon tried really hard? Can you explain why Elon cared about this race? It says skill shots fired. The answer is yes. The reason why he cared about this race is because Elon Musk has been claiming that he will be Donald Trump's attack dog. Okay? He's been claiming that he's going to be Donald Trump's attack dog. He's going to use unlimited amounts of funds to primary Republicans that speak out of turn. He is basically trying to be the outsider that whips votes in favor of Donald Trump. This was a real opportunity for Elon to test this strategy. This was a real opportunity for Elon to basically prove his work, that he has the capability, he has the motion, he has the money and power to be able to win results for Donald Trump. If he had won this race, his allegiance with Donald Trump would have calcified. It would have hardened. Okay? It would have turned into, it would have definitely given a much longer time frame for Elon to keep dominating the country, to keep running the country in the ways that he sees fit. And yes, there's a Tesla lawsuit, but that stuff is fine. It's like, okay, Tesla can't enter Wisconsin because they have an auto dealership lawsuit or whatever the fuck. Who cares? That, ironically, is a lawsuit where I'm on Elon's side, by the way, surprisingly enough. I think that auto dealership, the auto dealership union, capital union, is insane. It's just ridiculous. That's not the real reason, though, I think. I mean, I don't think Elon cares about fucking entering Wisconsin as a market that much. I'm sure it would be nice. It would be a nice little fucking, it would be a nice gift on top of that, but that's like secondary. The primary purpose here was because Elon wanted to prove his work. Elon wanted to prove to Donald Trump that he had motion, he had money, and that with money he could dominate races and win them for Big Daddy Trump. He failed. If he had won, he could say, see, I got the money. I dumped the money there. I went there. I got this victory for you, Mr. President. But instead, the predictable outcome happened, and it actually happened in it happened in a way that was a spectacular defeat for him. And I think part of the reason why the margins currently look the way they do, in a state that Donald Trump won against Kamala Harris by 1%, this special election showcasing a 55 to 44% split implies that people, on top of their proclivity to go out and vote in special elections, were extra annoyed with the presence of Donald Trump. That's it. So That's it. People don't like Elon Musk, and Trump hates fucking losers. So I think this will look like a spectacular defeat in the eyes of Donald Trump, and he likes to lay blame on others. He doesn't want to fucking say, Trump will come out and say, hey, look, the ballot measure that I wanted, voter ID, it won bigly. It won by wide numbers. But, you know, I shouldn't have brought that South African to Wisconsin. He shouldn't have gone there. You know, he's too busy with his cars. He should go back to his cars. He shouldn't deal with it. He shouldn't deal with Wisconsin. It's okay. We still like him. And I think that's what's going on. And yes, this is also not incorrect. The best part is Trump is going to ask Elon to back down publicly but keep funding the elections. But Elon is such a petulant man-child, he will take his toys and go home.